Here's a stat that should completely change how you think about Google Maps. About 44% of homeowners click on the top 3 businesses in the Google Map pack when they search for local services, and they almost never scroll past it. And that means if you're not ranking on Google Maps, nearly half of your potential customers don't even see you, no matter how good you think your work is. Now, I've seen contractors with weaker businesses and worse reviews win jobs simply because they understand how Google decides who shows up first. And once this clicks, you'll start to see why Google treats some businesses like the obvious choice and others like they don't even exist. In this video, I'm gonna show you the 3 things every local contractor needs to understand if they wanna rank top 3 on Google Maps. First, how Google actually decides which contractors make it to the map pack in the first place. Second, the 5 core signals Google looks at to decide who feels like the safest and the most trustworthy local option and why missing even one of them can quietly hold you back. And third, the correct order to fix this so you're not wasting time or money doing the right things in the wrong sequence. Before we talk about how Google ranks top 3 on Google Maps, there's something important you need to understand about how Google actually works behind the scenes. Google is constantly analyzing signals from your business, your Google business profile, your reviews, your services, your service areas, your website, and how active all of that is right now. Google's goal is really simple. Match the search to the business that looks the most relevant, most trustworthy, and most active in that moment. That's it. And this is where most contractors get tripped up. We see it all the time when we start working with contractors. They'll say, yeah, we've done a little bit of SEO before, but when we actually look under the hood, what that usually means is that they did 1 or 2 things in isolation. Maybe they asked for some reviews, maybe they updated their website once, maybe they posted on their Google profile for a few weeks and then stopped. The problem isn't the effort. The problem is assuming Google rewards your effort. Google doesn't reward effort. It rewards alignment and consistency over time. And here's the part that most contractors don't realize. Google adjusts its rankings based on recent and active signals, not past performance. A business that looks alive this month will often outrank businesses that looked strong 6 months ago, but hasn't shown much activity. And this is why rankings can feel unstable or confusing. Nothing's essentially broken. Google is just doing exactly what it's designed to do. Think of it like a job site inspection. If an inspector shows up and sees tools out, work in progress, updated plans, and the crew actively moving things forward, that site feels trustworthy. But if the site looks untouched, even if it was built well months ago, confidence drops, right? Google works the same way. It's consistently walking the job site of your online presence. This is also why random SEO tactics don't compound. Google isn't looking for one strong signal. It's looking for a full picture that says this business is real, it's relevant, it's active, and the best match for this search, right? So once you understand that, rankings stop feeling mysterious and you start to see why doing the right things in the wrong order keeps contractors stuck. Here's the mental model you need if you want Google Maps ranking to make sense. Google Maps rankings are not random and they're not luck, and they're definitely not about who's working the hardest on marketing, right? Google is doing one job. It's trying to match the search with the best possible location business for that search. Now, when a homeowner types something like contractor near me or kitchen remodeler in my city, Google immediately asks 3 simple questions. First is relevance. Does the business actually do what the person is searching for? Second is proximity. Is this business close enough to realistically serve that homeowner? And then third is prominence. Does this business look trusted, established, and known in this area? Every ranking decision Google makes is some combination of those 3 things. And this is why 2 contractors can be in the same city, offer the same service, and get completely different results. One is clearly communicating relevance, shows strong local trust, and stays active, and the other doesn't, even if their work is just as good. That's also why rankings change. Google updates its confidence as new information comes in. Reviews, profile changes, and activity over time. So when rankings move, it's not a punishment, it's just Google recalculating which business looks the best match right now. And once you understand this lens, everything else we're about to cover fits into place. Now, this is where most contractors get it wrong. They assume there's one thing that makes Google rank them higher. They think, I'll just get more reviews, or I'll start posting on my Google profile, or I'll just update my website. None of those things are bad, but none of those things work by themselves. Google does not rank contractors based on one strong move alone. It ranks them based on how well everything agrees with everything else. Your Google business profile says what you do, Your reviews confirm it, your website backs it up, your listings across the internet all match that, and your activity proves that you're still in business today. Google cross-checks all of that in the background. When one thing says one story and another thing says something else, Google starts to throttle you down. It just doesn't trust that picture, even if part of it looks good. And this is why contractors get stuck doing the right things and still don't move up. They're pulling one lever at a time instead of installing a whole system. Ranking top 3 on Google Maps isn't about doing more, it's about doing the right pieces together in a way that makes sense to Google. So if ranking top 3 is a system, the next question is simple. What are the actual signals Google is watching? At a high level, there are 5 core signals Google looks at for local contractors. Now, first is your Google business profile. This is the main source of truth. This is the first place Google looks to understand who you are, what you do, and where you work. Second one is reviews. Not how many you have, but how recent they are and how consistently you get them over time. Reviews tell Google if your customers are still choosing you today. Third is your website. Your website isn't there to convince Google. It's there to confirm what Google profile already says, the same services, the same area, the same story. The fourth is citations. These are mentions of your business across the internet, directories, maps, listings. They all help Google double check your name, address, and phone number. And then fifth is activity. Photos, updates, posts, reviews coming in. This is how Google knows your business is alive right now, not just something that existed in the past. And now here's the key thing to understand. Google doesn't look at these one by one. It cross-checks them, right? When they all tell the same story, Google gains confidence in you. When they don't match, everything else slows down. This is why you can look strong in one area and still not rank. Google's trying to reduce the risk, and risk goes up when signals don't match. Now, once you see these 5 signals as one connected picture, it becomes clear why random fixes don't move the needle. And it also sets up the next problem contractors run into. Even when they're working on the right signals, they're often doing them in the wrong order. Hey, quick pause here because this is important if you're watching this and realizing, okay, I see why Google Maps rankings haven't been working for me. This is exactly where most contractors are stuck, not because they don't understand the ideas, but because implementation of all of this consistently in the right order while running your jobs is almost impossible. And that's what we do at Elite Builders. We install the full local SEO system for contractors, the same framework we're breaking down here, so Google sees your business as active, trustworthy, and the right match for your local market. No hacks, no guessing, just the system done correctly and maintained over time. If you want to see how this works or would look like for your business specifically, head to elitebuilders.io, where you'll see how we approach Google Maps, reviews, websites, visibility as one connected system using the estimate engine. All right, that's the end of that. Let's get back to it. Now, this is where a lot of contractors get frustrated because even when they're working on the right signals, things still don't move. And the reason is simple. Google doesn't just look at what you're doing. It looks at whether it makes sense in context, right? Order matters. For example, getting a bunch of reviews doesn't help much if your Google business profile is incomplete or unclear. Google doesn't know what those reviews are or even supposed to be about. Building a website page doesn't help if your pages don't match your service areas or what your Google profile says you do. And posting photos and updates doesn't help if the rest of your present looks inconsistent or outdated. From Google's point of view, this creates friction, right? It's like starting work without confirming the plan. You're busy, but nothing really moving forward. This is why DIY efforts often stall. Not because contractors are lazy or don't care, but because they're fixing things out of order. They're putting energy into places that Google can't fully trust yet. Google rewards clarity first, then consistency, and then momentum. Once the foundation is solid, effort starts to compound, but before that, it looks noisy. And this is the moment where most rankings either break through or they stay stuck. Now, here's what starts to change when everything starts to align. From Google's point of view, things get clear. There's less uncertainty, there's less risk. Your business sends one clean signal instead of mixed messages, and Google can clearly see what you do, where you do it, and that real customers are choosing you right now. That clarity builds confidence, and when confidence goes up, rankings stabilize. You stop bouncing around and visibility starts to stick in your local area. This is also where momentum kicks in. Reviews start reinforcing your profile, your website backs up your services, your activity proves you're still active, right? And everything else feeds everything else. And here's the part that contractors don't really expect. Trust transfers automatically. When Google trusts your business more, homeowners do too. You look safer, more established, more legitimate, and not because you said so, but because Google is saying it for you. This is how visibility compounds over time, not through hacks, through alignment. Oh, and there's one last thing you need to understand about Google Maps rankings. Google doesn't reward spikes, right? It rewards momentum. That's why this never works when someone says, I updated everything last week. Why didn't my rankings jump? From Google's point of view, trust isn't instant, right? It's built by watching patterns over time. This usually happens in phases. First comes the foundation, your profile is clear, your services make sense, your information matches everywhere. Then comes activity, right? Reviews start coming in consistently. Photos and updates show real work that you're doing now and your presence looks alive. Then comes the refinement, right? Google adjusts. The confidence in your business increases, your rankings stabilize and increase, and that's why most real movement doesn't happen for about 90 days, not because it's the magic timeline, but because Google needs enough data to feel sure. This is also why shortcuts fail. One big push doesn't beat steady signals, and effort without consistency doesn't compound. So if you understand that, you'll stop chasing quick wins and you'll start building visibility that actually sticks. Now, at this point, you understand how Google decides who ranks top 3 on Google Map Pack, and you understand why alignment and consistency matters more than random SEO tactics. But here's the part that most contractors run into next. Showing up is only step 1. Once homeowners find you, what happens next determines whether that turns into jobs or just more noise. Visibility without trust doesn't convert, and rankings alone don't build a steady pipeline. So the next question becomes simple. Once people find you, how do you turn that attention into real jobs? If Google Maps is the front door, then marketing is what happens when somebody walks inside. And that's why the next video you should watch is the 6 proven ways to market your construction business, because in that video, we break down how contractors take visibility and turn it into consistent work without relying on random ads or referrals. And it builds directly on what you just learned and shows how this fits into a bigger, predictable growth system. That's the next step. Click right here to watch it, and I'll check you out on the next video.